Hi, it's Alaska Granny. We don't know what the future holds, but we can be certain that hard times come to all of us. We don't know if there's going to be a pandemic, if there's going to be a winter storm, an economic downturn. It's a great time to talk about basic food prepping. What's basic food prepping? It means making sure that you have a nice supply of shelf-stable foods, pantry foods that you could open and eat, or you could prepare with very little cooking, very little preparation, very few additions, and you could serve a meal to your family. If you did become sick, do you really want to have to go out to the store? If there is a truckers' strike, what are you going to do if there isn't any resupply in the stores? What if there's a winter storm and you can't get out to the store? There are all kinds of reasons why having a supply of food on hand just makes sense. Having a supply of food on hand means that you store what you eat and you eat what you store. That means you're rotating your foods. So you want to have a nice supply of foods that you know that you and your family are willing to eat. Get a nice variety of things and get multiples of them so that no matter what, you can open your pantry, open a can or a package, and prepare meals in a hurry. Sometimes we're just overscheduled, and being able to get a meal on the table in a hurry can avoid an emergency situation. There's all kinds of just sensible reasons to have supply of food on hand. And because it's important to rotate your foods, I've been going through using up the foods I have on hand and trying to replace them with foods that we like, foods that when they're on sale when possible, and foods that make sense considering what your tastes are and what you're preparing for. What kind of meals can you make from the foods that you have on hand? Well, this is my latest supply, and this is going to go into the back of my food pantry because you always want to be rotating your foods. First in, first out. So after you use food on your pantry, you want to push the foods in the back to the front of your shelf, just like they do in the grocery store, and then the new foods that you buy go behind them in the pantry shelf so that you're rotating the food. The ones in the front are the ones you eat first, and they're the oldest foods, and then the new supply gets put in the back. Canned and packaged foods come with a date, best by, sell by, or use by date. It's not an expiration date. It means that the food is guaranteed by the manufacturer to still be the best top quality, good to eat, tasty, and still full of the nutrition that's written on the label, and start to deteriorate after that date. Many foods can last long past the expiration date, but it's not a good idea to plan to use the foods long after. So it's best to try to use up foods within the guidelines on the package, but if it goes past that date, don't be afraid to open it and give it a good inspection. If you ever notice that a can is leaking, and something doesn't look right, a package looks maybe like rodents chewed on it, something doesn't smell right, anything that, like if you open a can and it bursts or it smells off or just doesn't look right, if you ever have a bad feeling about it, throw it away. It's only $1 or $2 worth of food, and it's not worth getting sick over trying to get the last cent out of your expired food. Don't plan to eat to the very last bite because it's just not worth it if food is questionable, and that's when you throw it away. So I've recently been to the store. This is the new Stockpile that I bought. And like I said, this is going to go at the back of my pantry because I've been using up the foods in my pantry. And let me show you what I have and some of the reasons why I chose each item. First, I have a nice variety of fruits and vegetables. It's getting more and more that you can only find things with a pop-top can. Some people think that the pop-top cans aren't as sturdy and don't last as long. It's nice to buy the cans with the solid ends when you can find them available. It's also nice to have some smaller sizes if you just want to have a snack. Put one in a lunch, stick some in your bug out bag. You already have it in a serving size container. Pasta should be considered a forever food. If you store it in a cool, dry place, it keeps for years and years. I've kept pasta for 10 years. It was still good when we ate it. It tasted just fine. As long as you take it out of a paper package. I always figure a pound of pasta goes with a jar of sauce. Get a nice variety of them. They come in different flavors, different varieties. It helps you rotate and have fuller flavors and varieties. Even if you serve the same type of food over and over, if you add spices or you get different varieties of sauces, it can change it up so you don't get food fatigue and boredom. Consider having something like the Parmesan cheese to sprinkle on top. It doesn't have to be stored in the refrigerator as long as it hasn't been opened. I like to stock up on canned tomatoes and tomato products like picante sauce. You can stir it with some of your rice and beans, make something different. And I even have stored a few cans of bean dip. It keeps about a year, gives more variety to your food if you're only eating out of your pantry. Then macaroni and cheese is a nice thing to have on hand. Even if you don't have butter and milk, you can boil the noodles and add the packet, and these can last past their expiration date. But after a couple years, the little cheese packets don't seem to last. But the macaroni is still good. I also chose a couple of organic and white cheddar, things that are just a little different flavor variety of just macaroni and cheese. Those have a shelf life only of about a year. And something I don't normally buy, but I thought, well, it's good to have a few extra other different kind of things on hand. Some of these kind of chow mein, hot and spicy noodles, ramen noodles, these would be good. They have a shelf life about a year. They're easy to just add water. If you see something different you've never tried before, don't buy a bunch of them if you don't know if you like it. Buy one, take it home, try it out. If you like it, get more. If you don't, be thankful that you didn't buy 10 of them. And then you can use your grocery dollars and your food storage dollars to try things that you will find that you like more. I'm a huge fan of already prepared, ready-to-eat meals that are in a can. They keep for many years. You can open them, eat them out of the can if you have no way to heat things up, and they're still going to be fully cooked, ready to go, and you're not going to have an additional emergency that you have to boil water or cook it or prepare it in some way. Look for full meals ready to eat. Things like chili, ravioli, baked beans, refried beans, and soups. Soups come in so many different flavors and varieties. They're easy to open them up, heat them up, and you can extend the meal of a can of soup by adding noodles, pasta, rice, serve it over mashed potatoes. There's all kinds of ways that you can make it a heartier meal. Soups come in so many varieties. You're bound to find flavors that everybody would enjoy. And if you did get sick and you got the flu or a cold, a nice warm bowl of soup can help you feel better. Canned meats are an important way to have protein that you're stored with your food. If you enjoy eating meat, find canned meats that are palatable to you. Spam is a great thing to have on hand. If you don't like spam, don't store it. Just like anything else, store what you eat and then eat what you store. People in my family think spam is the greatest thing ever. I don't particularly enjoy it, but I have it on hand for my family members who expect to find spam on occasion. In an emergency, would I eat it? Probably, but not everybody would. And to think that people will eat whatever they can get is not really true. So don't store food you're not going to eat. Have on hand things that people are willing to eat, and as normal as possible is what you're trying to do. Maintain your regular meal times, serve things people are familiar with, and see your way through to figure out what to do next. Then after you have a nice pantry supply of foods, stock up on some dried foods like rice, beans, and oatmeal. They're very long lasting, they're inexpensive. You can add the rice to lots of different things to make a meal go farther. You can soak and cook some beans, 20 pounds of rice, 20 pounds of beans can feed you for almost a month if that's all you had. But one way to stretch your food is to serve some rice, some beans every day, and then as supplement, make your meals full, tastier, and more nutritious by using the other canned and packaged foods that you have. You can incorporate the rice and beans into nearly any meal to help your food go farther for much less money. Having a variety is what helps you avoid food fatigue, make sure that you have a varied diet, and you're probably going to have a better nutritional balance if you're eating a wide variety of foods. Whatever you're preparing for, from coronavirus, pandemic, winter storm, earthquakes, hurricanes, economic downturns, civil unrest, there are lots and lots of reasons why we might have the need for food in an emergency. Food is readily available now, so stock up, buy extras while things are available so that you'll have the things you need no matter what comes your way. If you like my video, I hope you'll share it with someone else you think would enjoy it. Learn more at alaskagranny.com, and please subscribe to the Alaska Granny channel.